and think of what all of us that want these voting machines exposed, early voting exposed, and this isn't just Democrat. This is the Uniparty. This is the Uniparty. This is these Uniparty Republicans just as part of it, and the deep state globalists.
Oh my God, globalists sound like Alex Jones.
So this whole system.
I was talking to the White House yesterday. They said that. They said most Republicans act like they're for it. They tell their constituents, but really they want to keep it going because if they play ball, they don't steal it from them. It's the key patriots they do.
Oh, it's 100%. You go down, Alex, my biggest shocker in these last 4 years have been the Uniparty Republican, the blockers.
Oh, please, dude.
That block this, like Sarah Sanders Huckabee in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders, you dumb son of a... I'm sorry. Sarah Sanders Huckabee. I love it, dude. He's so incompetent and ridiculous as a human being. He's one of the most entertaining people on planet Earth, honestly, because he's so stupid.
So, Brad Raffensperger in
Raffensperger. Oh my God, dude! I swear to God, he's so bizarre.
Like Sarah Sanders Huckabee in Arkansas, Brad Raffensperger in Georgia, Robin Voss in Wisconsin, Kim Hammers in Arkansas. These places that you would think you'd go in and say, "Hey, look at all this evidence here. Your own voter rolls. Can we go to paper ballots and go?" No way. We're going to stop you. This is what we've been up against. So now the president pushes all this evidence out of the DOJ, where everyone, no, you guys, this is so explosive. This is what you're going to, everyone in the world, it should make headlines around the world. That's what we got to hope for.
Dude, what are you screaming about right now, Mike? Please pull it together and give us a coherent sentence.
That Fox News actually talks about it. That's what we're praying for, that everybody should say, wow, we've got a big problem. Then bam, the same day or maybe the next day, here's the solution. And it's beautiful. And I'm going to add one more thing to that, everybody. We already have things in place, like in Texas, 5 counties, one of them being Dallas County, one of the biggest counties in Texas, has voted just a couple weeks ago, which the president helped me on that one when he put out his truth, where they voted out the machines. This is no machine. This ain't machines that count the paper. This is no machines, paper ballots hand counted in the primary in February. So it'll show the whole nation that. But don't sit here and tell us you can't do it, Mike.
Oh my God, dude. Our current setup, the way that it works is perfectly secure. There's no reason to change the way that we operate, change the way that we manage our elections. Mike Lindell needs help. Seriously.
Cyber guys and stuff. Remember, I got...
Well, by the way, what the is a cyber guy? Can somebody please explain that to me? What is a cyber guy?
Vote records half the country for 2020, and in 2022, almost one third of the country. We couldn't find a place with the cast vote records, which, by the way, a cast vote record, everybody, either shows computer manipulation or... Dude,
and Alex Jones just sitting here letting him ramble incoherently.
It doesn't. There's no in between. And that might not say the election was flipped, but there's no in between. Either they shows computer manipulation or not. We couldn't find any in the 2020 election, any county in the whole state or the whole country that wasn't manipulated. Okay?
Oh my God. Well, you're going to give us the evidence then, right? Would you be surprised to find that he didn't provide literally any evidence at all?
In the 2022 election, we did find some. Most of them were in Florida. In fact, I think all of them that we found were in Florida. There was no computer manipulation. And remember, DeSantis won Miami-Dade County by like 12 points. Hadn't even been won before. You're going, what? Well, my teams looked into this, and we took and went, wow. And the reason you had that big uptick is there was no computer manipulation. What we did, we took those numbers, everybody, and we extrapolate them. What did we find?
Extrapolate. Okay.
Let me have an example. What if over the whole United States, life without computers, and it was all paper, because remember, there was no computer manipulation.
My God, dude. It's not helpful to go all paper, do all paper ballots. That's not going to accomplish what he seems to think it will. It's going to make things less accurate. And on top of that, did you know when we use computers to help with the election, did you know that it helps us track down voter fraud? When we use computers, it gives us a chance to compare voting records with immigration records. So people who are immigrants and not legally allowed to vote are caught when we use computers. But does any of that matter to him? No, of course not. Because it's all about lies and propaganda for Mike Lindell.
So if we did that, and Alex, the number came back, 66% of this country was red. That means your purple places were red, your bright red were as red as could be. Your California was like maybe purple, you know what I mean? So
Oh, give it a fucking rest. Yeah, you did all this work, and you're not going to show us the data, of course, but it shows that literally every single state is red, except for California, which was purple. Please.
these deep inner cities that you think are blue, no, they're purple. This country is 65% red, meaning we'll call it mega red, call it common sense
Nonsense.
red. That's what I would call it. And I believe the number's higher. So they have convinced us through brainwashing and election crime, they have convinced us that we're a 50-50 country, and 15% of this country, 15% that they're stealing, they've made us convinced that, oh, you know, we're still like this. No, we're not. People want good lives while we're here before we go to heaven. We want 65 to 70%.
And absolutely, and it's getting worse every day. People are totally turning on the Democrats. They're trying to get people to be mad at Trump. Things aren't happening quick enough. You'll throw him out, and we're throwing away our own victory. No,
This is nonsense. The country does not hate the left, quote unquote. The country is predominantly left wing. Trump has a terrible favorability rating right now, like really, really bad. These people just live in another reality. Seriously.
we complain about bad stuff because he's got people that he doesn't fully control. We hold his feet to the fire sometimes. But no, we don't throw this out. This is victory.
The government fears Alex Jones, who has the largest audience in the country, bigger than any of the networks, the biggest megaphone in the country.
The deep state hates Alex Jones.
Oh my God, dude. His stupid ads. All right, let's jump forward. Wait, I have a marker on this one. What is the marker for this? Let's see, what was it? It's jumping around that's annoying. Claims about government conspiracies targeting individuals like Alex Jones. That was the marker for that one. Okay, let's jump forward. See here. Yeah, right here, I think is where it starts.
American patriot, entrepreneur, trailblazer that exposed the 2020 election fraud has been totally vindicated. The president
Totally vindicated. Oh, please, dude.
his task force, as I reported 3 weeks ago, exclusively, because I had people that were there who saw in the cabinet meeting the evidence, everything about the Chinese chips and remote access and the mail-in ballots and all the manipulation. They have all the proof, and already a lot of it's come out.
Well, give it to us then. If you got all the proof, give it to us. Let's see it. Come on. Hand it over, bud. They're not giving us jack shit because they don't have jack shit, of course. As a Midwesterner, I'm just happy there's a shitty person that doesn't come from my state for once, right?
But it is totally devastating. As Trump said, it's truckloads by the day. He's dropping a nuclear bomb on them. Very soon they're going to start releasing it. Tulsi Gabbard already released documents months ago that China was involved, was hacking machines, was sending in.
Nonsense. China was not hacking machines or whatever. My God, dude, these people are in another reality.
Mail-in ballots. Then the Democrat FBI came in and blocked that. So they had a combination of ways they were doing it. Totally vindicated. And Mike Lindell spent his entire $100 million fortune until he's like me, two pennies rubbed together, richer than ever spiritually.
Okay.
And attacked and defaulted by a judge where the judge finds you guilty that has a show trial. So they act like they had a trial.
Oh, bullshit, dude. Mike Lindell is guilty, okay? He's just guilty. That's what it is.
It is just crazy. But he's going to get into his big announcement for governor, and already the numbers coming out showing minus massive fraud. He's the governor. I mean,
oh my God, yes. Mike Lindell is on Alex Jones to talk about running for governor in Minnesota. And Alex Jones says he's guaranteed to win governor, barring fraud. They're setting it up already. Disgusting.
Really? Yeah, we need independent people. We don't need Tampon, the communist Chinese agent, Walz.
Okay, they call him Tampon Tim because he wanted to put tampons in bathrooms. That's not true. That's a flat-out bald-faced fucking lie. Tim Walz tried to make them available in bathrooms. He didn't specify boys or girls' bathrooms or whatever. He just said bathrooms. And they claim he's trying to put them in men's rooms. It was nonsense. And who fucking cares anyway if they were in men's rooms? Who cares? Why do you care?
And so we got the big governor announcement last week, and the development side of that we were blessed enough to have it actually announced a week before here, but officially announced a week later. What's happened in poll numbers, things since then, but also the Attorney General coming after you politically instantly when you did that with new investigations there in your state. He's a mini-me, obviously, of Letitia James in New York.
Oh, please. Yeah, Mike, My Pillow Lindell is a perpetual victim. Everyone is always after millionaire Mike, right?
Then the Tina Peters update on, is there going to be a pardon? What's happening with that hero?
This is what they're going to talk about. Oh my God, this is actually a really interesting set of conversations. If so, Tina Peters can't be pardoned by Donald Trump because they're state level charges. They're state charges. And Trump cannot pardon state charges. He can only pardon federal charges. If you don't know Tina Peters, she helped rig the election on Donald Trump's behalf and stole voter data. She was a county clerk in Mesa County, Arizona, I believe. And she helped steal voter data and gave it to Mike Lindell, who then disseminated it as a list of dead voters. It was a real list of real people who were really alive. And the BBC went around and knocked on those people's doors and said, "Did you vote in the election? Your name is on this list." And they said, "Yep, that's me." Tina Peters stole your private information and gave it to Mike Lindell and used her position of authority to do so. She's a scumbag, the lowest of the low, a complete piece of shit who doesn't understand accountability at all and has an epic arrest video too, which we'll get into when we get there. And she was sentenced to 10 years in prison, I believe, almost, I think 9 years, in Arizona by Arizona officials and cannot be pardoned by Donald Trump because of that. But Trump is claiming to pardon her anyway. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they bow to pressure from the federal government to release her, but the governor of Arizona is the only one that can do that.
And then the big enchilada is walking through what you believe is going to be in this task force news that comes out. We already have been told, but people that saw it, they say it's incredible. And then just big picture, what the American people need to do to stay frosty, because the Muslim Brotherhood that's openly allied with the Democrats, the EU, BlackRock, the big universities, has had thousands of imams last month say, launch jihad, launch attack, and now you see it all over the place. U.S. troops killed by ISIS in the Middle East, Christmas tree, Christmas attacks with trucks, the National Guard killed, 16 Jews killed, and dozens of others wounded, and even
he's trying to make it seem like America is a hellscape, a left-wing hellscape that's impossible to live in, but he's completely detached from reality. This is not the world that like literally anybody else lives in.
The government, not even saying it's Muslims, saying the Prime Minister said the number one threat's right-wing extremists out of a clear blue sky.
Yeah, obviously it is. Right-wing extremism is one of the most dangerous problems in America today.
You take all your guns. So the globalists aren't...
Wait, who the fuck said take all the guns? That came out of thin air.
Going to give up. They're an international coalition of communist, globalist, ultra-rich, Islamicists, you name it. So there's a lot to cover. So let's get... You're going to have the floor right now. So don't stop or I'll interrupt. Get into the gubernatorial announcement, the news that came out of that, and then Tina Peters, and then all the election fraud news. Mike Lindell. People can find out more at Mike Lindell. We'll put that on screen. MikeLindellGov.com. So
wait, MikeLindellGov.com. Okay.
That's important.
MikeLindellGov.com. Let me tell you, everybody, let's get right into it. I announced last Thursday, and I was very surprised the way the media, all the way to the Daily Mail, they actually put a good picture of me smiling. They actually, it's like...
Well, the Daily Mail is friendly to the far right, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
All my negative stuff that's been up there for so long is gone. I thought they were pretty good. Of course, I didn't get a real big announcement out of Fox News and Newsmax, which, that's disgusting, but
That's disgusting. What, they have to, like, make an announcement for every jagoff that exists?
They, could be expected.
That's always, I said I would interrupt. That's always the sabotage of real populist candidates. They never give real MAGA candidates that have a real shot at winning attention. The real cutting of the throat is by them.
Okay. Yeah, Fox News does control a lot of this, this stuff. Fox News is responsible for a lot of shit. And unfortunately, after Trump is out of the White House, which will happen eventually, whatever happens, he will eventually be out of the White House. We're still going to have a Fox News problem, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, Alex. And anyway, I was very encouraged, and I had to go do 2 speeches right away. One that night, and one where it's our central committee where all the candidates were there. And so I was only 2 days, and I was in the top 3 already with the straw poll. Those guys have been campaigning already for 4 months, and you only get to talk for like 5 minutes. So I only. I basically wanted to tell them, get the message across. Why did I come into the campaign so late? And there were a lot of reasons, but when my wife and I prayed about it since August, and I had to make sure that my pillow was stable. I don't want to leave behind, because when I go all in, I'm all in on this now.
Okay.
I'm in it to win. I'm going to win it, and we're gonna make Minnesota great again. This all comes together. Right now, as you all know, my pillow is the tip of the spear for so many things. Getting the problems with that, with this whole the biggest crimes, welfare crimes in history of the United States, according to Stephen Miller. And
oh yeah, Stephen Miller, the paragon of honesty and trustworthiness.
We have a huge problem here with the Somalians that have came here. These programs, they need to be looked at regardless, even if you took the crime out of it. But
this is fucking disgusting. Why? Even if you took the crime out of it, why? Why do you need to look at these communities, look at these people closely or whatever? This is just hateful garbage, honestly.
One of the things too is our governor. I just want to say one thing about our governor that we have here in Minnesota, because everyone will say our governor is worse than your governor.
Tim Walz.
When you have this kind of crime in the billions of dollars, let's just say you didn't know about it. For some, I didn't know about it. Boy, we got to fix this. Well, then you're guilty of being the biggest neglect of a guy. Think of it as a CEO in charge of a big business.
You're massively incompetent and negligent.
At the very minimum. I macromanage and micromanage my pillow, all my businesses. And I'll tell you.
Wait, do you macromanage or micromanage? Which one do you do? What are you talking about?
Tell you what, you need communication. You need to hold each one accountable. You're the CEO. So, and I will say that. And then another thing.
Why was George Washington so good? He came from nothing. And by the time he became the commanding general, he was the richest man in America.
Oh, no, that's not why he was good. What the fuck are you talking about? You think he was good because he came from nothing and then got rich? He was good because he was a good general, obviously, and willing to not have a monarchy, obviously. That's like his defining feature.
He wasn't already a great military leader because everybody respected him. He wasn't, just super handsome and a badass and a war hero.
Right.
He had become the richest man in the colonies by his business acumen. And we need to get back to that. We don't want more lawyers, folks. We want businessmen and women.
Oh my God. This is disgusting, dude. This is a prime example of them trying to build an oligarchy, basically. That's what they're doing. They're trying to build an oligarchy. And it's seriously horrifying.
That is what America really, because you know how to run something. You've proven you're successful.
Yeah, Alex, they said, what does Mike Lindell know about politics? Number one, I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a great leader. And I've already proven that. And we're building something out of nothing.
Look up George Washington. Look up George Washington. He was a bullsman. Right. First and foremost, I would use the analogy of our first president wasn't just a great soldier. He was first and foremost a businessman.
Right. That's a great, I'll have to read up on that.
Okay, let's find out. No need to wonder. Just loaded up our question gun. Let's go answer hunting. Alex Jones, George Washington, great businessman, which generated him tons and tons of wealth. No, this is a lie. This is backwards. He inherited most of his wealth. He married into even more of it when he married Martha Custis, one of the wealthiest widows in Virginia. His wealth came primarily from land inheritance, Martha's massive estate. She was worth about $40,000 when they married, or 40,000 pounds or something. Astronomical for the time. Additional land acquisitions and speculations. Enslaved labor. Mount Vernon had over 300 enslaved people by his death. He was actually pretty mediocre businessman. Mount Vernon consistently operated at a loss or barely broke even. He tried various ventures, tobacco farming, a fishery, modest success with that. He struggled with tobacco farming. A whiskey distillery, started late in life, became profitable, but he didn't run it long. Various land speculations, mixed results. His financial records show he was frequently cash poor despite being land rich and had to borrow money at various points. He even had to borrow money to attend his own presidential inauguration. What Washington was good at was military leadership, debatable effectiveness, but clear organizational skill, political maneuvering, and coalition building, land acquisition through political connections, and managing his image and reputation. That's what Washington was good at. The self-made wealthy businessman narrative is a common mythologizing of the founders that ignores the reality of inherited wealth, marriage into wealth, and wealth extracted through slavery. So that's just complete and total nonsense. Exact opposite.
Because I did not know that, but that's exactly right.
Yeah, as Liz Galahad says, you know how we can honor George Washington? Bring back the monarchy. Exactly. Build an oligarchy. 100%.
Buddy, that what Alex is saying. I've taken my pillow and other businesses from nothing, and I don't just let one part of the business go each day. I look at every single thing every day. So we're all moving in parallel. Well, and then also being able to take something, my pillow being the most attacked business in history.
Oh, please, dude. He's a lot like Donald Trump in that he's completely full of shit with all his persecution nonsense, right?
Period, and being able to keep that going. And
boy, that's a tall claim you're making to Alex Jones.
Be able to fix things that are getting blown full of holes. Well, right now, Minnesota's blown full of holes. There's so many problems, and we've got solutions.
Like what holes? What problems? What things are you complaining about right now on Minnesota's behalf? And what are your solutions, Mike?
As a businessman to each one of those. And I really believe that there's so many things that I know. It would take hours on your show, Alex, but each thing, I used to live in the streets of Minneapolis.
I'll take one.
There's so many things that people don't think about the problems. They think about the basic ones, the economy and all this. Well, there's other things too. In Minnesota here, our box stores and our malls and the downtown is empty. We can't, we've got to get these things on a playing field with.
Why the fuck do you think box stores are empty, Mike? Really? Because of Amazon. Because people do their shopping online now, obviously. Did you seriously not know that? If you think box stores are coming back, you're wrong, Mike. That's not going to happen, okay? We're just in a different era. We're in a service-based economy now, and we have been for a while, and people just don't like physically going to a store to purchase items anymore. They prefer purchasing their items on Amazon or whatever. Seriously, what is wrong with him? He's so lost. Like, what the fuck, man?
With the internet, with the footprint you're in right now, there's just so many things, and these welfare systems. I'll give an example. Our education system here, I've talked to so many teachers. We have not just problems there, but now we have other problems because we have the Somali population that is winning the classrooms and stuff. And if you have not just them, but you have other problem children. There's so many regulations and red tape.
Oh, fucking disgusting, dude. So Lindell wants to fix education. And what's his solution to it? Make it worse. Less regulation. Less oversight over education. Genius. Yeah, that's definitely going to make people smarter. It's going to fix things for sure. I mean, Mike Lindell is of the belief that evolution shouldn't exist in schools. Evolution. Okay, he's a young earth creationist. That's fucking psychotic. Forgive me if I don't believe that you can fix our education system, Mike.
That the teachers, you can't deal with this over here. You have a whole new problem, and so you can't move them students out of there. So now our whole education has went just tanked in Minnesota. But there's so many things to look at, not just one area. Well, I'm going to look at this because that's in trouble right now. You got to be proactive in things. And
Mike, do you even know what a governor does? Seriously, I don't think any of the shit that he just named is controlled or regulated or whatever by a governor. The governor does completely different shit. But okay.
Tell you what I really like right now with Minnesota is all this. It's all getting opened up. This fraud has called to attention for not just Minnesota but the whole nation. Problems in our welfare programs. Number one, they need to be relooked at. Number two, how easy it was to steal. And I believe this is what came out, Alex, is Keith Ellison, the Attorney General of Minnesota.
Keith Ellison's fucking awesome. He was at American Atheists last year, or yeah, maybe it was last year. He was at American Atheists. He attended and spoke there. And I was there, of course. I was also a speaker at American Atheists. It was pretty awesome.
It's coming out that he knew about it or might even be in on it. Him and
Oh, please.
Ilhan Omar. Well, remember, everybody, Keith Ellison has attacked my Lindell Recovery Network that helps addicts get to Jesus. And
yeah, helping addicts get to Jesus doesn't actually help addicts, as it turns out. There are objective solutions that you can use to try to quell addiction, to try to help it, to fix it. Prevention and education being two primary solutions. This is an important subject to me. And instead of using scientifically tested solutions to end addiction, Mike Lindell tries to get people to Jesus. It doesn't help. It doesn't work. It doesn't solve anything. And there's already a group that does that. It's called AA and NA. So give it a fucking rest, Mike. Yeah, addicts don't need Jesus. They need therapy, as Yard Gentry says. I just created a new website, firesidewatch.com. You can watch videos with friends, and everybody can play or pause the video. I made it so I could collaborate with other YouTubers, but I figured I might as well make it available to everybody. On top of that, you can add videos to the queue, upvote them, and sort by most upvoted. Give it a look, firesidewatch.com. And while you're at it, check out my Patreon, owenmorgan.com/Patreon. You can follow me there for free.
so there's a lot of things coming out right now that will now get national attention. Ilhan Omar, you guys, made $65,000. That was her net worth 4 years ago. Now it's 35 or 36 million.
I don't think that's true. 4 years ago, is that what he said? She's worth 30 million. Let's see if I can find an answer to this. No, that's completely false. Her net worth when entering Congress in 2019 was modest, somewhere in the range of having significant student loan debt and minimal assets. Her most recent disclosures show her net worth somewhere between roughly 1 and 3 million. Disclosure forms show ranges, not exact figures. This wealth comes primarily from book deals. She published a memoir. Her congressional salary, $174,000 a year, and her husband's income. He's a political consultant. So that's just a lie. That's just a fabrication. Complete fabrication.
And, this is going to be looked into. That's impossible. That's impossible.
No, it's not impossible. And if you really want to talk about corruption, let's look at Donald Trump, because this one is not true at all. This is just a flat out lie. So I don't worry about this corruption because it's fake. But let's look at corruption if you want to look at corruption. Let's talk about Trump. And let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I mean, there's something. Where's the money come from?
Yeah, she gets into Congress with no money and is now worth 30 million. Well, here's the deal.
That's just a lie. That's not true at all.
As you said, they've already tracked it all back. She was in command of all of the Somali fraud through the networks and through her adjuncts.
Oh my God. There is legitimately a scam network that basically scammed the government out of COVID money, to my understanding. And the government didn't really catch on soon enough because they were just, people need COVID money. So they were passing it out like candy because it was like a massive disaster. They should have done it differently. There should have been more regulation, a lot more regulation, obviously, being more careful and everything else. And a lot of these fraud networks supposedly were run by businesses that were run by Somalis, I think. I could be wrong. And they're blaming Ilhan Omar for this because she's from Somali. Somali. It's fucking insane.
And then it's already clear that then the Democratic Party above her was also getting a cut. So
I'll give it a rest, dude. Disgusting. Seriously.
Obviously, we know Tampon Tim didn't turn a blind eye to this. They started these as beta tests many years ago. Yep. You exposed it. Now they've scaled it up, and it turns out the Somalis in Maine, in Washington State.
I have not heard anything about this. It's just complete nonsense and disgusting lies. Seriously, these people will tell lies about anything or anybody. They are shameless.
everywhere, Tennessee, have been caught running the exact same scams. So
Yeah,
this is
and
huge.
Yeah, it is huge, everybody. And then I've looked at, you look at other places in the world where they've went, and I see a thing, Sweden, all these other places where it's like 70 to 75% are on some kind of welfare or getting at that.
New York Post is complete nonsense. They're worthless. I don't trust a word out of their mouths.
Wherever they land in the world, well, then we better look at our, the ones that are here now, we better look at those programs. If they're just built for people just to sit on there and just, let's say they was doing it legitimately. Let's say it was legitimate. And you get a driver's license. Walz just hands you a driver's license, which now you can vote too, by the way.
No, you can't. That's complete garbage. You cannot vote if you get a driver's license.
You can drive on our streets. There's
By the way, for those that don't know, I played the clip 2 weeks ago. You're having a legislative meeting, and people can pull this up. We just play it again. And they're asking the head Democrats, she's saying, so you give out a driver's license, and with that you can vote. They say, yeah.
No, that's a lie. That's not true. It's complete nonsense.
Yes. They're not even denying it.
Yeah, they're not denying it. This happened. I'm glad that
These people are fucking disgusting, dude. They will lie about literally anything. Why are you lying? Why do you have to lie? If there's really a problem, then let's address it. You don't have to fucking lie about everything constantly.
this is getting national attention because Tim Walz went and ran for vice president. So everybody's got a taste of what's going on in Minnesota. And now all this is coming out, you guys. It's absolutely disgusting. Minnesota is now the tip of the spear. This is a bigger thing. They're like the Trojan horse where we don't want Sharia law. We don't want...
Okay, do you know what a Trojan horse is, Mike?
We don't want to end up all these stuff that's came in here that regulates we have as businesses. There's so many regulations and businesses here in Minnesota, but a lot of it has to do with their prayer times and stuff like this that we're gonna, these things that they have put in.
For people that don't know, all the schools in Minneapolis, St. Paul, for 5 years have prayer rooms, not for Christians. They tell a Christian kid, don't wear a cross.
That's right.
Oh, please. This is complete nonsense, obviously, but let's look this up here. Let's see. Said they have prayer rooms, but Christian kids can't wear crosses. The implication is Christian kids aren't allowed to use prayer rooms. Some Minnesota schools, particularly in areas with significant Muslim populations like parts of Minneapolis, do provide space for Muslim students to pray during school hours. This is because Islamic prayer has specific timing requirements, 5 daily prayers at set times. Students would otherwise need to leave school or miss prayers entirely. It's a reasonable accommodation under religious freedom principles. The Christians aren't allowed claim is completely false. These aren't exclusive spaces that ban Christians. What's actually going on? Christian students can and do use school spaces for prayer. Before school, lunch, after school prayer groups are common. Christian prayer doesn't have the same time-specific requirements as Islamic prayer procedures. As Islamic prayer. Schools generally allow any student religious group to meet. Schools generally allow any student religious group to meet or pray with proper procedures. The Christians banned narrative conflates not needing a dedicated space during class time with being prohibited. It's complete garbage. It's all complete garbage.
Talking about Christmas cards.
That's GARBITCH, garbage.
Which, by the way, is a violation. You can't have the state have an official religion. Anybody can have whatever religion they want. But it is an official state religion it violates First Amendment to put in prayer rooms for the Muslims and give them breaks to do it.
This is nonsense. It's a reasonable accommodation, just like with wheelchair access, or if you have here's an example of a reasonable accommodation. Burger King, if somebody comes in and they have a wheelchair, they need to reasonably accommodate by putting a ramp outside and allowing them to sit in their wheelchair at the drive-through window. They need to widen some of the, whatever. So they need to give them extra breaks so that they can, whatever it is. Like reasonable accommodation. This reasonable accommodation idea has existed in law for a very long time. Raising the ceilings on the building, completely different. You can't force them to do something that's completely unreasonable to accommodate people's religious freedom. The schools already have these rooms open and available. It's a reasonable accommodation to allow students to use it for this purpose under religious freedom laws. They're perfectly within their rights to do this. So this is complete nonsense. And I love how they're bitching about how Christian students are being mistreated terribly in this scenario, but Muslims aren't, but Muslims are taking advantage of the situation. Seriously, what's wrong with these people? Religious freedom for me, but not for them.
That is a state-run religion, the opposite of what Thomas Jefferson said. And people don't understand. They're now trying to get Houston to pass laws for prayer rooms. So it's all Sharia law, them forcing their system on us.
And give it a fucking rest. They're not forcing you to use the prayer room. What are you smoking? Really?
Yep. And they tried to do that with our businesses here too in Minnesota, that you had to provide them with that. I know Jeff Bezos a few years ago,
Jeff Bezos.
6 years ago, he fought them. He said, no, you're not going to shut down my lines, my work lines in the middle of the day for 5 times or whatever it is for your prayer time or your prayer rooms or your praying. And it's
reasonable accommodation. They're not shutting down work lines. They're taking breaks. It's called workers' rights, Jagoff. People are allowed to take breaks at work. And this is a really good example of reasonable accommodation, actually. It's a reasonable accommodation for Jeff Bezos to allow people to take a short break during the day to do a prayer or whatever, to eat lunch. No, you're not shutting down my line for 30 minutes a day at noon every day to eat lunch. That's basically what's being said here. Like, you don't own this individual. They have their own thoughts and desires and wants and interests, and they're allowed to practice their religion the way that they see fit. These people are fucking disgusting, dude, really. What is wrong with them? What is wrong with Mike Lindell? Is it that big of a deal that you don't want Muslims praying? Is it that big of a deal that you're willing to go to war over this?
So, like I say, we're at a very tip of a spear.
And they're blasting their call to prayer starting at 5 a.m., ending at midnight. It's
all over
pissing
Minneapolis.
on you.
Oh boy, wait till they hear about church bells. They're going to be real upset when they find out what church bells are.
Dominating you.
Yep. Yeah, all over Minneapolis. And this is, so there's different problems going on, but one of the things, I look at it as a blessing that you see now that they were very blessed to come here. And then you have all this fraud and everything and all the stuff that they can't, that you can't assimilate and you can't,
assimilate.
It's not going to happen. So where it ends up, it's going to end up being a really good thing that all this is coming out right now at the perfect time in history. And, you get through it all and then it comes out, it's going to be, 10 times better than it was, because if these things didn't happen, if this fraud didn't happen, we'd be in a bad position, because then you end up getting boiled like a frog. And it's just,
there's a lot of lesser fraud.
Yeah, if people have freedoms, you could be boiled like a frog. You suffer when other people are allowed to live their lives the way they want, right? You're the victim here when others live their lives how they want to live them.
But still very bad hidden. But these outrageous, arrogant levels is crazy. But I've seen their attack.
It's like Porky Pig over here.
But these outrageous, arrogant levels is crazy. But I've seen their attacks on you saying, what is a businessman that had the #1 retail product?
Mike, shut the fuck up. He's in the background trying to get a word in edgewise over here. It's not your turn, Mike.
On you saying, what is a businessman that had the #1 retail product in America for years? That's almost impossible to do. What does he know? Well, what are these lawyers?
You hear him in the background?
Product in America for years. That's almost impossible to do. What does he know? Well, what do these lawyers know? And again, if you didn't know about this, George Washington was a great soldier, but as a businessman in the South, in all these dangerous areas, as a person that went in and created all the border lines and, did all of the, setting up a property while under attack as a surveyor, and then all these other businesses, he was so good because administratively, he knew how to get the best prices, to pick the best people. He was a workaholic. He complained not...
Dude, what the fuck is he even talking about right now? Like, I completely checked out on this conversation when Alex Jones started talking. What are you going on about right now, Alex?
Leading battles from the front against the German troops and the British and all of it, where he would, like a general up front. Nobody does that, even back then, not even Napoleon. he said his eyes would hurt because he could read and work 24 hours a day like Trump, but his eyes would get exhausted. So he was a master of writing hundreds of letters a day, reading thousands of dispatches, and just micromanaging everything as
Oh, there's Mike again. Trying to get a word in there.
a businessman. That was his gift from business. Then he had everything
He
else.
used it in government.
Absolutely. That's what we need is somebody like you or
Absolutely.
Donald Trump.
100%. I can tell.
I'll tell you what happened when Trump got in office. He didn't run it like a business. He ran it like his business, where he took advantage of everybody around him to make himself richer. He didn't work on behalf of the business. He worked on behalf of himself. Corruption is rampant all over the place. You know, one of the problems with companies in the United States, in my opinion, is you have a legal obligation. You are legally required to do things that will benefit the shareholders of the company rather than society. And if you do something that benefits anybody other than the shareholders, even if it's society that benefits, you can be sued for that and kicked out of your position. Companies in the United States have an incentive to benefit themselves at the expense of everybody around them, at the expense of other companies, at the expense of society. And if they don't benefit the company specifically or the shareholders, they're in deep shit. That's how companies run in the United States. And that is exactly why we shouldn't have businessmen in charge of government, because government is fundamentally different from business. Even nonprofits are different from for-profit companies. I wouldn't want a nonprofit person running a for-profit company or vice versa, for example.
An example that, you know, like I'm getting advice from obviously my friend Rudy Giuliani. When he cleaned up New York, you look for things
Oh God, not him.
that work. When he cleaned up New York and made them safe back in the day, well, you take that model, you put this in. There's also, I'll just give someone another. And by the way, I'm going to put all my solutions right up on my website, MikeLindellGov.com, because you know what? If somebody wants to take that and put it in sooner, hey, let's go copy Mike. Like, you know what? We need help now. You know, so if they want to do that, that's fine. Put it in, because these solutions will work. One of the things, Alex, that was done by my good friend Ben Carson.
Oh, not Ben Carson, dude, please. Oh, he's awful. Hang on, I was just looking it up here. The myth: Giuliani single-handedly cleaned up New York City through tough on-crime policies, broken windows policing, and strong leadership. Here's what actually happened. Crime was already declining before Giuliani took office in 94. NYC's crime rate peaked around 1990. It dropped significantly under Mayor Dinkins. Awesome fucking name, by the way. 1990 to 93. This decline continued under Giuliani, but it was part of a national trend. Crime fell across the U.S. in the 90s, including in cities that didn't adopt Giuliani's policies. What Giuliani actually did: he increased police presence, expanded NYPD significantly through Dinkins, though Dinkins had already started this, broken windows policing, aggressively enforcing minor offenses, turnstile jumping, graffiti, public drinking. The theory was this prevents bigger crimes. Evidence for its effectiveness is contested. CompStat system, data-driven policing that tracked crime patterns. This is actually innovative and likely helpful, though it also created incentives for precinct commanders to manipulate statistics. Stop and frisk expansion massively increased warrantless stops, disproportionately targeted Black and Latino men, later ruled unconstitutional. Questionable crime reduction impact. Factors Giuliani didn't control but gets credit for: national crime decline, economic boom, the 90s economy was strong nationally, and demographic changes. Gentrification was already underway. The costs: police brutality incidents increased, civil liberties concerns with aggressive policing, homelessness policies that criminalize poverty rather than addressing it. So there were some things that did work and that contributed to an already declining crime statistic or whatever. The thing that really worked was the CompStat system that kind of moved police to specific areas that they needed to be in, and gentrification. Or, you know, what could have worked even better would have been putting money into neighborhoods that deserved it that were run down and not being taken care of in the first place. Not gentrification where companies benefit, but putting money into these neighborhoods, these communities, to fix bridges and roads and to fund welfare programs better and good jobs programs and things like that. That could have helped significantly because, as we know, poverty is a leading indicator of crime. Anyway, Giuliani is not exactly to thank for the decline of crime in New York City. But okay. But
when he was working with HUD, Secretary of HUD, they came up with this system or this the solution for all the homeless
now we're talking about Ben Carson.
in the streets and the people in addiction and the mental that needed mental help and this, and they were going to start. LA County in LA was the first county they were going to do it in, and even the Democrats there agreed, wow, this is a great system. And what it is, when you take them and you're basically sorting, hey, this person, they need this kind of help. They need this kind of help. You put them in the right help instead of just giving them stuff, the resources. You put them in the right help and it was an amazing, amazing platform. And it got shut down right before the China virus. I have those
The China virus
blueprints. I have them all. Minneapolis
And that's
could be the
beautiful.
first one. Beautiful.
Meanwhile, in Seattle and San Francisco, they give them alcohol and money for drugs.
Yeah. It's there's people.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Beautiful.
Meanwhile, in Seattle and San Francisco, they give them alcohol and money for drugs.
What? What are you talking about? You think that Seattle's welfare program is giving homeless people alcohol and drugs, is what you're telling me? He can't believe this. He can't really believe this, right? Just a reminder, I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out my Patreon. If you're not going to donate, you don't have to, but follow me there at the very least. owenmorgan.com/Patreon. Just in case something happens with the government or whatever. It would be really good if you had some way to connect with me and my content. I'm really concerned about that. And maybe you should consider that for other creators too.
Yeah. It's there's people wonder, and then they go, well, Mike, what are you going to do with taxes and stuff? Well, you know what? Yeah, I have a great.
By the way, if you're a new listener, I'm not joking. Type in San Francisco. I think spends $50 million a year. I saw this the other day, giving homeless jugs of liquor.
Okay, let's see. Let's find this out. Alex Jones claims San Francisco $50 million per year giving jugs of liquor to homeless people. Alcohol and Xanax are two, or benzodiazepines generally, are two substances that it is genuinely dangerous to withdraw from. You can die if you don't have it and you need it. You can die from that. I don't know if this is true. I seriously, deeply doubt it. But if it is, I would say it's about harm reduction, right? Everything that we do regarding drugs should be science-based. It should be based on what works. Mike Lindell is doing what he feels it will work, not what will actually work. He's doing things on feelings and instinct rather than scientific fact. Trying to get addicts to turn to Jesus. That's feelings-based. That's not going to help. It's not going to make anything better for anybody. Now, regarding this claim, it's completely false. San Francisco has a managed alcohol program for a very specific population, chronic alcoholics who are experiencing severe withdrawal symptoms that could be life-threatening, as I suspected. These programs serve maybe a few dozen people, not thousands. Provide controlled amounts of alcohol, usually beer or wine, measured servings, to prevent dangerous withdrawal. It sounds kind of like a drug substitute program, like methadone clinics or Suboxone. That's what it sounds like to me. And that's fine. That's what you should be doing to help people get clean, to save them from dying, basically. They're part of a supervised medical housing program, costs a tiny fraction of $50 million. It's actually closer to $500,000 to $700,000 annually when you include the housing and medical services bundled with it, not just alcohol. It's the program total. So this is just complete nonsense, all of it.
Why would you?
Yeah. It's unreal. And then, look they used to give them crack stuff in the streets.
Nonsense. You're telling me the government... I'm sorry, let me phrase this correctly. You're telling me Seattle was giving, not the CIA, but Seattle was just giving people crack for the hell of it. The CIA did give people crack in the inner cities. But you're telling me just the government was handing it out like candy. Okay.
Crack pipes and everything else. Remember back in the day that was one of their things to solve the problem. These are common sense solutions that we have that I have to secure and fix these things. And then when they say, well, Mike, are you going to lower taxes? And you'll lower taxes. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? You can maybe lower tax a lot what I have because the money that's spent, let's just remove the fraud, that $8 billion. But let's say you get everything, you get the fraud removed. You need the money that is spent on these programs. You got to make sure that these programs are working or you change the programs. You need to change the input. You look at everything and you want to make it the best bang for your buck there is.
And by the way, it's going to be easy for somebody like you or Trump because the Democrats always want to make the problem worse instead of fix it.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Democrats want to make things worse. Absolutely. That checks out. Because Democrats hate America, of course.
Hey, right there. We got to go to break soon. But I want to give the number out. We're going to just take 6-7 calls for you. Your chance to talk unfiltered with the great Mike Lindell running for governor of Minnesota. We've all got to get behind this. There's so much excitement. I just feel victory in the air. The toll-free number is 877-789-2539, 877-789-ALEX, 877-789-2539. Specific questions for Mike Lindell. We still got 3-4 minutes to break. Now, shifting gears, I want to get into Trump getting ready, because I was told this a month ago, and now he's announced it with a massive proof vindicating everything next segment. But briefly, Tina Peters, you've got inside baseball on a pardon. It's a state crime, though. How does Trump do that?
Okay, Tina Peters, right. I talked about her previously, but Tina Peters basically committed election fraud on Trump's behalf. She basically stole voter data. She's a county clerk in Mesa County, Arizona, and she stole voter data on Trump's behalf illegally. Felony level shit. She's spending 10 years in prison now for it. And she gave that voter data to Mike Lindell. And they passed it out and, made all kinds of claims about how it was dead voters. It was a list of dead voters. It was nonsense, all of it. And she went to prison for it for 10 years. And now Donald Trump says he's going to pardon her. He can't, because it's a state-level crime. He's not legally allowed to pardon her. But he's saying he's going to anyway. That's not how it works.
And she's dying in jail. She's a hero. Tell us about that.
She's not a hero. She's a piece of shit.
Yeah. The latest, everybody, as you've seen, he came out and he put the federal pardon out, and Peter Tinkin, his Tina's attorney, had sent him this beautiful letter and said, here, we need this federal pardon. Remember, I had said, hey, everyone said, well, you can't pardon her at the federal level because this is state. Well, and obviously the governor of Colorado, Polis, he wants her in there because we don't even know if he was in on the crimes that Jenna Griswold committed, the Secretary of State. But what they're doing, everybody, by this federal pardon now is, I don't know if it's ever been done before, Alex, but according to the Constitution, the way you can interpret it, that would override and he would be able to get Tina out. Now,
No, you can't get Tina out because she is facing down state charges. She's dealing with state charges right now. She's not legally allowed, Trump is not legally allowed to pardon her. It's nonsense.
Has never come up before where you have a governor arguing with the president of the United States over a person to pardon him or not. Maybe it's never come up before.
No, it's come up before. It's pretty clearly spelled out in the Constitution. We all know exactly why this is not legal for Trump to do. This is not a surprise.
But this, I believe, is going to have to come together. Maybe it'll have to go to court or whatever and say, this is the way we read it, make a ruling, and let's get her out. We're praying that the governor in Colorado should just make the right decision right now and just get her out by Christmas. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. She should,
and I know most people know about it. For people that don't, you have the Secretary of State releases the codes of breaking the computers days before publicly.
Right.
Then she exposes.
Yeah. The latest, everybody, as you've seen.
Secretary of State releases the codes of breaking the computers days before publicly.
Right.
then she exposes, does her job, gets the data to show it, so they throw her in prison.
That does the job by getting the data to show it. No, her job was not to steal voter data. In fact, that is the antithesis of her job. She stole voter data.
And now they're trying to kill her in prison. She's got all these health problems. These people are beyond sick. Why are they so scared of her?
They're so scared because this is why. The Secretary of State, most of them control our elections in this country, by the way. I've only met two that I would even trust to be in the same room, by the way. But that was back there, and there might be some new ones. But Jenna Griswold, the biggest criminal of all the secretaries.
Yeah, everyone I don't like is a criminal, totally.
She deleted the 2022 or the 2020 election in the spring of 21, everybody. She deleted the whole election called the Trusted Build. Her and the Dominion Voting Machine Company, they all got deleted by Jenna Griswold. Now, why is that?
What the fuck is he talking about right now?
That's a federal.
Radical left Colorado AG says Trump's pardon of Gold Star mom Tina Peters won't work. Oh my God, dude. It's so fucking stupid. You literally cannot pardon state charges as a federal president.
Felony on every level. By our government says you have to hold those records for 22 months. By the way, it's 28 months by Colorado law.
Okay, let's find the answer to this. Let me just step back a bit here. One more time.
Level. By our government says you have to hold those records for 22.
Let's find out which records.
21, everybody. She deleted the whole election called the Trustee. Deleted the 2022 or the 2020 election in the spring of 21, everybody.
All right, let me just find the, we're at 2606. He claims Jenna Griswold deleted the 2020 election. This was done with Dominion voting systems. If violated federal and state record retention laws, Tina Peters is the hero who saved the only copy. That's the claim. Here's what actually happened. The deletion. Colorado conducted a routine software update, a trusted build update on voting machines in 2021. This is standard maintenance. Lindell and Peters characterized this as deleting the election. Tina Peters' actions. Before the update, Peters allowed an unauthorized person, someone associated with MyPillow actually, into secure areas to make copies of hard drive images. This violated election security protocols and laws. And again, when they took the information, they gave it to Mike Lindell. They used Tina Peters' security clearance, her password and stuff. They used that to gain access to our election systems and get voters' names. They got voters' names and passed it around right-wing media. Seriously, that's what happened. That's why she went to prison over that. She's a disgusting scumbag. You know what? Before we continue, hold on. Let me just find Peters. Yeah, here. Let me just open this. This is Tina Peters' epic arrest video, if you're unfamiliar with who she is. After she committed all of these crimes, she was arrested for it. Let go of her. Let go of me. This is what accountability looks like, by the by. If you've never seen it before, that's what it looks like. Oh, this is the let go of me, Carl. Yeah. Caleb, I think. Caleb. Let go of me, Caleb.
Let go of me. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Let go of me. Look. It hurts. Let go of me. Give me my key. Oh, stop it. Sorry. No, let go of me.
She kicked at him.
Yes, you are, Caleb.
Yes, you are, Caleb.
Give me my key to my car.
Give me my key to my car.
Give me my key to my car. Give me.
Epic fucking arrest video, dude. I love everything about it. It is so... God, it's like sustenance to me, is what it is. It's sustenance.
My key to my car. Give it to me. Give me my key.
Step outside for you.
Take my purse.
Anyway, that's the epic arrest video. Completely deserved, right? She deserved that shit. She is a vile, disgusting fucking piece of shit for what she did. Honestly. Disgusting and evil. She is directly responsible for the erosion of our democracy. Anyway, go fuck yourself, Tina. So that's what we're talking about.
She deleted the whole election, called the Trusted Build, her and the Dominion Voting Machine Company. They all got deleted by Jenna Griswold.
Again, Jenna Griswold did not delete all of this stuff, quote unquote. She simply did a routine update to the systems that they had. That's it. There's no like secret plot to delete the election or whatever the fuck. It's nonsense. This is just a flat out lie, of course. Again.
Now, why is that bad? It's a federal felony on every level. By our government says you have to hold those records for 22 months. By the way, it's 28 months by Colorado law. She deleted them almost 2 years early. And
it's just nonsense.
And they're gone. The only one that had the copy was Tina Peters. Every other clerks took backups, but they all succumbed and said, "Oh, here you go," because they made Tina look like she did something wrong.
And that's why they're so mad at her, because she has the evidence of what they did.
No, please, dude. She literally stole voter data. Okay, that's unacceptable. I don't give a fuck. We do not live in a society where it's acceptable to do something like that. It should never, ever be acceptable to do that.
Got all the evidence, everybody. If that evidence has been, by the way, that image has been posted on Lindell TV for 2.5 years. If you want to go check it out yourself, called Inside the Machine. They're afraid because they'll all be put in prison, Alex. My dream will come true to recycle these machines, melt them down into prison bars and
Okay, prison bars are made of metal. Voting machines are made of silicon and plastic, so...
All right, stay there, because it's happening. Trump has his task force. I'll tell people that were in the meetings when they saw the evidence. It was just everything you talked about and more. I know you...
Do you hear that? I know people who were in the meetings and they saw the evidence. So you haven't seen the evidence then, is what you're telling me? We're 5 years deep now and you still haven't seen any evidence for this? Are you ever going to fucking give this up? Seriously. The answer is no, of course he's not.
You got some of the inside baseball on that as well. Let's talk about what we're going to see next and take phone calls for Mike Lindell right now when we come back. 877-789-2539. Specific questions for him about governor, election fraud, Tina Peters, you name it. Stay with us. I am making this...
All right, let's jump forward here to get past the ad thing. Interesting. He's got posters for sale. Okay, here we go.
They're getting ready to release it. I want to play this clip and get Mike Lindell's take on it.
That's all they're good at cheating in elections, very good at cheating. They're professionals at cheating because we won in 2016 by a lot. The election was rigged in 2020. We have all the ammunition, all the stuff, and you'll see it come out.
Then so you were president during the 2020 election. You were president, but it was rigged under you, against you. But in 2024, when you won, it wasn't rigged, apparently. I mean, really, people, like, who believes this shit anymore? Suckers and losers, as Trump would say. Suckers and losers is who believes this.
It's coming out in truckloads. And California's election, New York also, but California more than any other place is so rigged. It's such a rigged election. You know, we won the Hispanic vote. So a lot of people say
Totally, yeah, that's logical. You won the Hispanic vote. You ran on deporting and imprisoning immigrants, and you expect anybody to the left of hunting immigrants for sport to vote for you? Please.
Republican wouldn't win California, but I won the Hispanic vote. I won in Miami. Think of that. In Miami, I won the Hispanic vote.
I think that one is true. I don't remember clearly now. But either way, so? Who fucking cares? I don't understand what this has to do with literally anything.
Along the Texas border, I won every single city or town touching the Texas border.
I mean, it's Texas. They obviously gerrymander the shit out of everything, first of all. And second, they're right-wing extremists in Texas, obviously. They've had years of build-up to this extreme, nonsensical, vile hate.
And they're 85 to 90% Hispanic. We won the Hispanic vote. If the vote in California was legitimate, which it's not, they have 38...
It's not legitimate, okay.
...million ballots. Everything is mail-in voting. They mail out 38 million ballots. And they come in. Where the hell do they go and where do they come from? It's a rigged election in California because we would win California. But
Yeah, everything is rigged. Everything I don't like is rigged. This is a slight, what's the word I'm looking for? This is a slight modification of everybody I hate is Hitler. I'm a big fan of this picture. I think it's funny. I know that a lot of the time, like, the right uses it, but I think it's a really funny picture. Everyone I don't like is Hitler, a child's guide to online political discourse. I think that's a funny, meme. I know the right uses it, but I think it's funny. And, you know, the right calls the left Hitler and fascist all the time. Just one example of that. Wait a minute. We're at 2946. Does this open into a new window? No, I don't think so. Let me just... Here, this is Jason Rapert with the T on the end, calling people he doesn't like fascists.
We now have in our country, in Minnesota, in New York, and in Virginia, you elected Islamists, communists, anti-Semites, people that believe exactly what Hitler believed.
Everyone I don't like is Hitler, a child's guide to online political discourse.
by a lot. And again, they feel they have the advantage with Hispanic. They don't.
So, Mike, you've been at the heart of exposing the fraud. Started Lindell TV, got sued by the deep state, rigged court cases, defaulted, no jury trial. But what I've seen from the White House, and people that were at those meetings a month ago or 3 weeks ago that I first broke, now you see he's announcing it. It's the whole cocktail of fraud. China, the machines to
China,
Taiwan and Venezuela, remote accessing, but also the mail-in ballots, the manipulating the ballots, having illegal aliens on the ballots. I mean,
this is nonsense. There are not quote-unquote illegal aliens on the ballots. Garbage.
It's all coming out. We actually see it in the news. Now, suddenly what you said 5 years ago, what I said, the witnesses said, is 250,000 illegal aliens on the voter rolls of Maricopa County.
This is not true. How do you put an undocumented immigrant on voter rolls? How would you even do something like that? How would that work exactly? What name would they put down on the paper? What address would they put down? It's ridiculous trash. Literally nothing about this is true. Nothing.
All of this is being confirmed. Everything is crazy. Total vindication, Mike Lindell. So explain what your hearing is about to come out, what your own research shows, and then how they tried to cover this up and where we go from there.
Yep. Every single thing that's going to come out, we had 4.5 years ago, or during the last 4.5 years. I'm talking from whistleblowers in Serbia and Venezuela. I had all this. I had sent planes over there before, to try and get these people out. But now all the data, all the stuff that I've been shouting for 4.5 years, and my team's on the ground. Remember, we have over 300,000 people on the ground with Cause of America in all 50 states. All these reports, everything turned in. Now, what is the difference now? Now it's going to come right out of the DOJ, where other people have looked at it, and where maybe the media this time can't cover it up, Alex, because our great president's going to say, "Hey, we told you." Maybe it didn't need to. Maybe back then it would have came out too early. A lot of this stuff we have, because we've learned so much since then. Things like this,
Totally.
Buddy, I'll give you an example. In Wisconsin, if everybody voted in Wisconsin that could, that's 4.2 million people. But there's 7.8 million names on their voter rolls, on their computerized voter roll. So I know that you heard the president say about California, you guys, this is every single state. No state is left behind. Every single state has the same problem. Computers used in our elections. 132 countries have banned them. They banned them for a reason.
This is nonsense. 132 countries banned voting machines or whatever. Complete trash. All of this is complete trash.
Paper ballots hand counted. Over 100 countries have banned early voting. You heard their president talk about mail-in voting. Alex, a few years ago, when I ran for RNC chair, one of the things that came out of that, the reason I wanted to get in there is I wanted to get the RNC, I wanted everybody to say, hey, what's our best voting practices? Well, I got that. Even though I lost in their little vote of 168,